Have you ever wondered what it takes to build the world's largest hedge fund from scratch? This is the story of Ray Dalio, a man who turned his two-bedroom New York apartment into the headquarters of a financial empire, Bridgewater Associates. But his journey from an ordinary middle-class kid to a legendary investor is anything but ordinary. It's a tale of incredible highs, devastating lows, and the powerful principles that guided him through it all. Born in 1949 in a middle-class neighborhood in Queens, New York, young Ray was described by his teachers as a curious but not particularly exceptional student. He wasn't a fan of school routines and preferred doing things his own way. His first taste of the financial world came at the age of 12. He was working as a caddy at a local golf course where he overheard stock tips from the Wall Street players he carried bags for. Intrigued, he took his hard-earned money and bought shares in a company called Northeast Airlines. He got lucky. The airline was soon acquired, and his investment tripled. This early win sparked a lifelong passion for the markets. It wasn't just about the money. It was the thrill of the game, the puzzle of figuring out how the economic machine worked. Throughout his teenage years, Ray continued to build his own small stock portfolio. He devoured company reports and financial news, teaching himself the fundamentals of investing. By the time he graduated high school, he had amassed a portfolio worth several $1,000s, a significant sum for a teenager in the 1960s. He went on to study finance at Long Island University and later earned an MBA from Harvard Business School. At Harvard, he was exposed to a world of sophisticated financial theories, but he always retained his practical, real-world approach to investing, honed from his early days as a caddy. After Harvard, Dalio landed a job on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, trading commodity futures. It was a chaotic and intense environment, but he thrived on the energy. He then moved to a brokerage firm called Shearson, where he quickly made a name for himself as a sharp and unconventional thinker. However, his independent spirit and sometimes rebellious nature clashed with corporate culture. After a public disagreement with his boss, he was let go. But for Ray, this wasn't a setback. It was an opportunity. In 1975, at the age of 26, he founded Bridgewater Associates out of his apartment. His first clients were corporations he helped manage their currency and interest rate risks. Bridgewater's early years were about survival and building a reputation. Dalio's unique approach was to analyze historical data and economic trends to build timeless and universal investment principles. He didn't just bet on one outcome. He tried to understand the entire economic machine. This deep analytical approach set him apart. He believed that by understanding the cause and effect relationships that drive markets, you could anticipate and navigate economic shifts. One of his early famous calls was predicting the 1982 debt crisis, which significantly boosted his credibility. But the path to success is never a straight line. In the early 1980s, Dalio made a massive public bet that the U.S. economy was headed for a depression. He was so confident that he even testified before Congress, but he was wrong. The market surged and his bet backfired spectacularly. He lost so much money that he had to let go of all his employees. He was broke and emotionally shattered. It was the most painful experience of his life, but it was also the most transformative. He realized that being right was not enough. He had to be humble and manage his risk of being wrong. This failure forced him to develop a new way of thinking. From the ashes of this failure, Dalio built his most powerful concepts: radical truth and radical transparency. He rebuilt Bridgewater with a culture where open disagreement and honest feedback were not just encouraged, but required. He wanted to create an idea meritocracy where the best ideas win, regardless of who they come from. Every meeting was recorded, and employees were encouraged to challenge anyone, including Dalio himself. This unique culture, while intense, allowed Bridgewater to stress test ideas and avoid the kind of arrogant mistake that had nearly destroyed the firm. He also developed a new investment strategy: diversification. Instead of making one big bet, he would create a portfolio of many uncorrelated bets, a strategy he called the all-weather portfolio, designed to perform well in any economic environment. This new approach worked. Throughout the 90s and 2000s, Bridgewater grew exponentially. The all-weather strategy proved incredibly resilient, and the firm's flagship Pure Alpha Fund delivered consistently high returns. Dalio became a legend in the financial world, revered for his deep understanding of macroeconomics. He successfully navigated the 2008 financial crisis, a period that wiped out many of his competitors. While others were panicking, Bridgewater's data-driven models had anticipated the housing market collapse, allowing them to profit from the downturn. By this point, Bridgewater was the largest hedge fund on the planet. Having achieved immense financial success, Dalio began to focus on his legacy. He started to codify the life and work principles that had guided him and Bridgewater. In 2017, he published his book, Principles, Life, and Work, which became an instant bestseller. In it, he shares his journey and the rules he lives by, arguing that success comes from embracing reality, learning from failure, and striving for meaningful work and relationships. He believes anyone can apply these principles to achieve their own goals, whether in business or in personal life. He stepped back from day-to-day management of Bridgewater, turning his attention to philanthropy and sharing his insights with the world. Today, Ray Dalio is more than just a billionaire investor. He's a thinker, a philosopher, and a teacher. His story is a powerful reminder that success isn't about being perfect. It's about how you handle imperfection. It's about the courage to bet on your ideas, the humility to admit when you're wrong, and the wisdom to learn from your mistakes. From a 12-year-old caddy with a stock tip to the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, his journey shows that with curiosity, resilience, and a commitment to truth, you can turn even the most painful failures into the foundation for extraordinary success.